Hey everybody, hello, hi, how you doing? It's Rob at Old Style Classics Baseball Cards, and here I am again, um, June 23rd, 2024, 1:25 a.m. California time, and thanks for joining me on my Old Style Classics Baseball Cards channel. Please subscribe, like, share, leave a comment, and so what I've been doing lately is showing you guys my MSA run of cards, of oddball cards. My favorite manufacturer of oddball cards is Mike Schechner and Associates Inc. or Michael Schechner and Associates MS, and then later MSA, so on and so forth, maybe SA into the 2000s. So I've been showing you all kinds of different cards that you get from MSA. Like the last video I just did was this Marigold Ice Cream Superstar Series that you got on a carton of ice cream back in 1986 there. And it says MSA down here. So that's what MSA is, Michael Schechner and Associates. And if you haven't watched one of my previous videos, what this card is a 1977 disc of Lou Brock. And MSA would send these out, I believe, to different companies like Tasty Freeze and Isley's and all these places to try to get them to buy discs that they would print up with that company's logo on there as a giveaway or a premium or food issue or product issue to get somebody to buy their stuff. And I showed this in the last video, but I don't think I ever got around to there was no Canadian stuff in the stuff I was showing, I don't think. But this came in my little case of Clearly Canadian that I picked up earlier in the week at Costco. And great stuff. Love the raspberry. But today we're going to see some Canadian cards in this little run of what I'm doing. Now this run that I'm about to do is it's a big one because this company has put out multiple sets for years and years and years and years and years. Now, I don't have stuff from every year. What we're going to focus on today is the MSA version of the cards. I'll just flip through some of the other ones that are not MSA, like some of the tops or some of the whatever they did in the 60s. And so that should give you a clue. What we're going to be looking at today is some Post Cereal cards. So as you know, Post has done these cards that they used to put on the side of a cereal box. Not that that's a cereal box, but they used to put them on the side of the cereal box that you could cut out, or Jello. So I know that there's some way to show the difference between the Jello and these because they look the same, but that's not what we're in for today. We're mostly just doing this to show the Post cards, Post cereal cards. But if a Jello slides into one of these, it would be these old ones from the 60s. So this is like 61. I think I have all these together. I might have a few more in some of my other boxes, but I'm not here to show these ones so much. But as you can see, way back in the day, Post blank backs. And so 61 doesn't say Post on it, but like 62s do. So, and I think the different color for each league. So like the Harmon Killebrew there, then the National League red, and then you jump up here, Eddie Matthews, Bill Mazeroski, so those are all 62s, and then you get to 63, and there's a big card that I picked up, my only playing days Mickey Mantle card, and I know everyone collects Mickey Mantle. I'm not a huge Mickey Mantle guy. I don't dislike him or anything. I'm just not a Yankees fan, and don't do as much vintage as say modern or pre-war, but you know, I wanted to get at least a Mickey Mantle, and so that's a 63 Mickey Mantle picked up in Albuquerque, up on Eubank at that card shop at Eubank and Constitution. And when we were visiting last year, went back. But on some of these sets, like some of them, like the Jello, sometimes there's like a line on one of these little lines in the little box, like maybe right here. If it was Jello, it would have continued on. But if it was Post, but it wouldn't have been that year that said Post, because obviously you know it's Post. So that's what we're gonna get to. I'll do an episode that's specific to these, even though I just showed you guys those cards. But I just wanted to give you an example of what we're going to be looking at today. And as I said, as you can see here, you know, this is 61. So we know they started in 61 at least, and you know, there's a lot of experts on Post cards. But what I'm here today to do is the MSA cards. Now, some of them, most of them aren't the most attractive of the MSA run, but still, they're cards. And who doesn't love to have cards, right? So, alright, these should be in order. Okay, now I'm going to also, at some point in time, I'm going to be showing you some of the ones that, you know, Post that was done by Topps. So I do have, Topps did some of the Post cards as well. So we'll do that in another episode as well. Now what I'd like to do is do them, the MSAs, then the Topps, and then maybe go back to the old ones. I probably should have started the old ones, then do the MSAs because they came next, and then the Topps. But I'm not doing it that way because I'm trying to do mostly a MSA run, Michael Schechner and Associates run. So I kind of organized these in order by year for the MSA First Collector Series. I don't have complete sets. I don't have uncut sheets, and I don't know if they ever did that. I do have one box that you could have sent away and got the entire set. So I do have one of those boxes. But I just have a few cards from all these different years and a few packages unopened. So we're going to start here. I put these in order, and so this will be a little bit longer video, so let's get going. There's Don Mattingly, and that is the First Collector Series. So these aren't bad looking cards, they're pretty simple. And but obviously Post decided to go without the logos this year, and you know, centering's not perfect, but I like oddball cards. That's obviously a card that was circulated, so I kind of like the circulated ones as opposed to maybe the one that came in the box, just because they had to survive being in cereal to get to you. And so the backs are a little ugly, but typical of MSA around this time. This is a 1990, this first set, so that's card 1 of 30. And if you look down here, so that's 1990 Major League Players Association, and then right there is the MSA. So once again, that is this company who started, I believe, in the mid-70s. So like the earliest MSA I know for sure is in 76. This is a 77, what I call salesman sample for MSA. So that's what the MSA stands for. And you can watch some of my other videos that I've recently done where I talk more about Michael Schechner and Associates. Not a whole lot of information about them out there, other than they did have a falling out with like the Players Association, I believe, between 96 and 97, or 97 to 98, and they kind of stopped doing active player cards at that point in time. There was a lawsuit. I don't know how that ever came out, and I never know what happened to MSA, because it looked like they teamed up with Score a few times. But when you read about Score and Pinnacle and them being bought out and all that. It doesn't say anything about them ever acquiring MSA, so it's a shame there's no Wikipedia page talking about MSA there, because prolific, just tons and tons of cards through this era. So the mid 80s into the early 2000s, MSA was like your main oddball card company. Topps did a lot, and then like Dunross and Flair and Scoring Them and Pinnacle and then Pacific all started getting in. Alright, next we have George Brett, just like the 1986. So they don't always have the best images. But there's George Brett, and I thought that card wasn't a regular card size, but it is. And but here we go. This is well, it's got the facsimile autographs on it. So 1990 MSA. So as you see, that first one was number 1 of 30. This is number 4 of 30 with all the stats. So it's not bad back. I like the front's a little better than the back. The back's a little cheesy, so to speak, but I kind of like that one with my oddball cards. I know I might sound crazy to some people, but it's just what I like. Alright, next, Oral Hershiser. That one's okay centered, left to right, but top to bottom a little off. So we're not going to continue on showing you too long on the backs there, because it's all basically the same, but you got the facsimile. That's number 8 of 30. Alright, I do have a lot of these ones. Keep in mind, these are, I'd say about 80% of the cards that I'm showing you right now, except for that box, are cards that I actually picked up from the actual cereal. I don't have any of the actual cereal boxes to show you from Post. You can easily look those up. But for the most part, what I'm trying to get at is these are cards that I actually pulled myself out of cereal back in the day, unless it's something like this that shows like a sticker on there. So 11 of 30, I'm sure I picked this up because of Nolan Ryan. So he's always one of the best oddball cards to get, because Nolan Ryan always carries value. And a lot of Nolan Ryan collectors out there, and I think it's it's not going to be a big money investment. You're not going to make a lot of money unless you live another 70 years, and then people start looking at this like a Ty Cobb Cracker Jack or something like that, which it'll never be. But, you know, maybe if you're a young person, you could pick this stuff up for like $1. You know, let's say you're 12 years old, and then maybe time you're 70, you know, that card might be worth $1,000 or something. Who knows what's going to happen between now and then, because the Topps cards and whatever might be impossible to get at that point in time, but you might be able to pick something oddball up, and Nolan Ryan always carries a lot of value. So you can pick these up still, you know, 90, 2000, 2010, 2020. It's 30, almost 35 years old card. Hall of Famer for $1. Alright, let's move right along. Mark McGwire. You know, these aren't the best images, like the contrast, really dark background. That's what you get sometimes with MSA. Just depends what kind of money Post wanted to spend on cards. So obviously they didn't want to spend a whole lot, so they probably used standard images that MSA had for other cards, because you'll see these images, these pictures will be like the same across different oddball sets that they did. Alright, there we go for Rick Vintage Oddball Collector and other Bay Area guys. San Francisco Giants, Kevin Mitchell. That's a pretty good image. It's got some good color in the background, so they did a decent job on that. 15 of 30. He was a good player. Alright, the guy everyone thought was going to be big, along with McGwire, Jose Canseco. Still to carry some value. This would be a good card to get a autograph on, maybe in person or through the mail if he does that. because it's got that bright spot there. Would take the ink well, and these cards are glossy. Not like, yeah, maybe Tiffany, but obviously the backs are semi-glossy, but still not like glossy like the front. So, and it's pretty decent card stock. You know, with the colors though, you're gonna get chipping and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. I mean, you might, if you're a super collector of, let's say, Wade Boggs here, you know, like Wade Boggs fan, you know, you might want to hold out until you find something in really good shape. Like that one looks really well centered for an MSA card. And look at that, you don't see any real chipping or anything or bad corners. So like if you were kind of person that were into Wade Boggs or grading, this would probably be a pretty decent candidate. So there you go, great Wade Boggs, Hall of Famer. Dale Murphy, pretty good centering there as well. Corner might be a little soft. Yeah, right here. But otherwise looks pretty good. Dale Murphy. Alright, Mark Grace, there we go. For my Chicago Cubbies, who won today. Are they playing the Mets, I think? So they had a good day today. Mark Grace, my New Mexico United soccer team won against Colorado Springs today. They haven't lost at home. They're like really way up there, but my indoor football league, Duke City Gladiators, lost to the Bay Area team in Albuquerque or Rio Rancho today, so they're 1-11 now. And I think they're going to be here in San Jose in about 2 or 3 weeks. So I don't know if I'm going to go to that because they really stink. Maybe if I got free tickets, but otherwise, because I do know the owner. I'm acquaintances with the owner of the team, but they're just not really good right now. But I'll show you the football she gave me and some other stuff at some point in time. So there we go, Mark Grace, my Cub. Congratulations to Mark for he got a World Series win with the Diamondbacks. Alright, and Robin Yount, so there we go, another Hall of Famer. That one looks pretty decently centered as well. And the back looks pretty good except for that corner there. So there's the 1990 loose cards that I have. Now these ones I definitely got in person out of the cereal boxes because I have a couple that I wrote on there with a pencil. 1990, so these are how they came in the box of cereal, and you can see it through there. You can see who it is. So there's Kevin Mitchell. I think he got 2 cards, maybe 3. So Darryl Strawberry there. So this is how they came, people, out of the cereal boxes. So all these MSA ones that I'm showing you should have come like this. Alright, so there's another one here. There's no point in opening them. Looks like another Kevin Mitchell. And another Darryl Strawberry, so maybe that was the collation that you're always going to get the same people in the box. So now let's jump up to the next year, which would be 91. So Post was pretty consistent over the years when they started doing cards. They continued to do them. These ones have a little more pop and a little brighter, like they improved the quality a little bit the next year's, and it says 91 right there. So there we go, there's a Darryl Strawberry, but not the one that was in the pack that I just showed. But the yellow, it's got a nice look. I do like something about these simple, bland kind of cards, you might say, but I can appreciate them doing a little more. So there we go, Darryl Strawberry, and the back's got a little more pop to it. Guess I should keep one of each of these out so I can keep referring back to it. Yeah, that's just a little busy. The backs I don't care for as much here. is that kind of looks like the ones that I showed before. Maybe more like the sunflower seeds, jumbo California sunflower seeds, but everything stands out a little bit more, and it's a little more cardboardy back. And this one was a little more glossy, like so 7 of 30. So obviously I don't have a complete set of this, but that's pretty sweet. Those are nice looking cards. Oh, I do believe I have an Andre Dawson of this in my binder, so I have the binder right here, so we'll take a look. Then Roger Clemens, not the greatest photo of him, but not bad. Well, not great. Let's just say it's on the lower half. So Roger Clemens, one of the greatest pitchers of all time, but you know, there's always a but. And of course Nolan Ryan again. So that's pretty nice. Centering pretty decent, maybe a little heavy on the top. Look at all those stats, folks. Let's hope that's focused so you can look at his stats there. And so by 1991, he already had his 302nd win, so that's pretty good. Next, Cal Ripken Jr. So Cal was a big chase at the time in the early 90s. Not a great image. That's not the best contrast there. A lot of shadow in the background there. 19 of 30. Alright, here's another one a lot of people like to collect. Rickey Henderson. 91 Collector Series. So these are fun cards, people. I know they're not super valuable, and they're not the greatest looking. That one's okay. But it's just something different. If you're a Henderson collector, why not? You know? And if you're a nickel and dime kind of investor, you want to spend a penny and then sit on it for 30 years and make a nickel, you probably do that on these kind of things. Because keep in mind, every day people treat these cards like crap because they're not worth a lot. And every day more and more of them disappear, or somebody's like, that's just garbage, and throws it away or something like that, because there were a lot of them made. So it's not hard to get by any means, and they're not expensive. But you know, 40 or 50 years, somebody wants a Rickey Henderson card, fascinated about that era, and this is something that they could probably afford, as opposed to one of his more expensive Topps cards or something. Alright, next we got Kirby Puckett. I probably bought this somewhere, card show or card shop, because it's in the top loader. So I don't believe I top loaded any of mine unless it was Andre Dawson. So Kirby Puckett, Hall of Famer there. And lo and behold, once again, here's the way they came packaged, 91. And I even put down that I got this out of Cocoa Pebbles. So that's cool. You even know what cereal I got this card from. That looks Chris Sabo, Cincinnati Reds there, and Barry Larkin on the back there. I feel like that would be 3 cards in there. So that's how the 91s came. I'm going to pause you for a second and look at my Dawson stuff to see if I have one. Hello people, thank you, I'm back. So yeah, funny thing is, I got up to go look at this card. I knocked over a box of cards all over the place into one of my other boxes. Dag nabbit, but they were all protected, so that's annoying. Anyhow, hard to believe, but as far as I can tell, I looked online, there were no American issued Post Cereal Cards for Andre Dawson, but lucky for me, recently, I just picked this up this week, was What do you think that is, people? It's our buddies from Canada, eh? And that is the Post Andre Dawson Canadian series. So he made it in the Canadian set, 91. So lucky for me, I checked when I did, because this is 91 as well. And as you can see, the Canadian ones have French as well. And also, they don't look anything like the American 1991s. So let's take a look at the back here. And so it's kind of harkens back to that first one. Obviously that signature is a lot smaller. The writing with French and English on there, and same thing, 30 card set. So you can go online and check what the difference is on the checklist there. But as you can see, 7 of 30 for the Canadian one and 7 and 30 of the American one, so the same card number, so obviously different. And as you can see right down there, so this is MSA, so they often did stuff in Canada as well, and you'll even see some of the stuff they had printed in Canada, even in the American sets, because it probably became cheaper at some point for them to do printing in Canada. And the reason that's important to me, if you don't know my channel yet, I'm an Andre Dawson collector. He's my PC guy. And look at the centering on that, just beautiful. Backs are kind of ugly. Andre's autograph has changed since then. And as you can see, it says Kraft General Foods Canada. So I don't believe it says anything about Kraft for the American ones. So maybe it's just in Canada that Kraft runs it. But that's pretty cool. A French and English Canadian Post card. So told you we're going to show you some Canadian stuff. Alright, moving right along, folks. We're going to jump up to the next year. These are a lot fancier cards, I would say. So the 92 Collector Series, Joe Carter, Toronto, of course. So, and the backs are a lot nicer looking, but glossy again. There's your MSA down there, and they keep going with the facsimile autographs there. Let's see here, is that... No, they didn't. I was thinking maybe they did that in the 60s as well, but no, I'm not even on the Topps version, so that was just an MSA thing, I guess, to offer them the facsimile autograph cards. But still a 30 card set, and that's 12 of 30. We'll set that aside. And then of course Jose Canseco again. Centering's off on that one. A little bit of chipping, so you're going to get that with these cards that show color. So there's Jose Canseco's moment in the limelight there. Now this one. Alright, we're going to jump ahead to 1993. So I picked this up at a card show. And that is the complete collector series. And it even has rookie star logos on there. Post. This one, as you can see, it says it's got Bonds, Ken Griffey, and Ripken in it. Whoever sold this to me. So I think you could have sent away for a complete set by sending in like proofs of purchases or something like that. There's the complete set that I never opened. But once again, MSA. There you go, Hall of Famer Robin Yount on the back of that card. Still with the facsimile signature. So 93. Alright, and what do I have otherwise for 93? I do have a few loose ones. So they're pretty cool. It's a cool design. They definitely, you know, the last few series they spruced up a little bit. Very much more 90s, because the 90s went from that kind of dull look cards that I talked about to obviously cards were much more fancy, or Stadium Club like, or Upper Deck like, Score and all that. Hey people, and if you don't know, I'm sorry if I'm I'm just kind of sitting back, leaning over, doing these cards. So if my voice isn't too fast or quick, just go to your speed setting and set me to 1.25 or 1.5 speed, and it might sound normal. So there's what it looks like with unpackaged. So Roger Clemens there. So definitely more something like Score was doing at the time, with the color image on the back on top of it. So still pretty cool stuff. Then the next one, hey, there we go. Is that the big Frank Thomas? You mean the big hurt? More like the big hunk. Got to do that joke every time, people. If you haven't seen its infomercial, look it up. Alright, so Hall of Famer Frank Thomas, 14 of 30. So pretty sweet. And then this one, I don't know. So this, my friends, I believe is another Canada. And I'm almost 100% sure this is MSA because I don't want to pop the card. I picked this up at a store. I think at a card store in Newark over in Fremont, but they're gone now. But this is the Post Canadian, and you pull this tab up and another card image or something would pop out of there, or stand up or something like that. That's King Griffey Jr., Seattle Mariners, so the kid. You know, the cards aren't in the best shape, but you pull that tab up and it shows you like his stats or whatever on the back. And the reason I believe this is still MSA, because when we get to the next year, it's still MSA. So anyways, there's King Griffey Jr. dual image. And if you want to see what's on the inside of that card, you just Google that. 93 limited edition Canadian Post King Griffey Jr. card, and that is 9 of 18. So there's that. And like I said, the reason why I know that's still MSA is because when we get to the next year, I did say that is a 93. Yep, 1993. So the next year, these are cool looking cards. I really like that green border. They're super cool. So, you know, I like the simple looking oddball cards, but I gotta hand it to them. Those last few sets were pretty nice, more modern, but this one's really, really stands out to me. It's probably the best one that MSA did for them, because it's got the facsimile autograph just kind of in there. It's just, it's modern for the time that it came out, but it's something elegant about it. It reminds me of those Canadian Club whiskey cards, like the Ernie Banks and Billy Williams autograph ones I got. These ones definitely nice. Now the back, I could take or leave it. MSA right here, 11 of 30, so still 30 card set. So those are cool. And we'll just get past that. So this is, they moved on to the little cellophane wrapper. So move on there. So this is how they came, and that is 3 cards in there. John Olerud on the back. And so to wrap this video up, I already described that I do have one box set, and this is what they came like. But the one I got's been cut off here, so I don't know how you got these, if you sent away for it or what. So it came in this little like card box. It shows you the different brands that you can get. So I figured I'd show you that picture just because the one that I've got's missing that whole tab. Complete player list on the back. So honeycomb or post raisin bran, fruity pebbles, grape nuts, and honey bunches of oats. And there's your checklist for 94. So alright, so but I've already opened these before, so So no, nothing should be missing in there since there's no Andre Dawson. I would have taken that card out to add to my collection. And as you see, I got this for $5. And this was probably in the last 5 years. So let's set that right here for you. And so we'll probably zip through these because I'm already at 35 minutes, folks. But these cards deserve their time in the limelight because thumbs up to Post. Oh yeah, hey Post, thanks for continuing to put out cards year after year. Your buddy Bill Clinton likes it. I was president at the time. Oh boy, I sure like baseball cards. Alright, look at that. Rookie star, Mike Piazza, Hall of Famer. So, pretty nice, 1 of 30. Don Mattingly, 2 of 30, MSA. Juan Gonzalez, Texas Rangers. I think he's in the 500 club. But how he got there. Alright, Hall of Famer Kirby Puckett. Aren't those beautiful cards? So, you know, like I said, these cards are beautiful, and then you could get them in this box set. But, like I said, there's just something about getting a card that was circulated, that had to go through this process of being in the actual box and surviving to this day and age. I dig that. So if they have a little bit of wear on them because they were actually in the product, I kind of like that as opposed to just getting this. It's a little bit of a cheat. But still, I mean, it's not like I'm going to turn them down. Gary Sheffield, another 500 club guy. Same story, who knows? David Justice, he was a superstar at the time. Just beautiful borders on these cards. Jack McDowell. Looks like he's got a little bin there or something. So, sorry, it's 7 of 30. Mo Vaughn. Darren Dalton. Bobby Bonilla for the Mets. Alright, there's Barry Bonds again. Shouldn't make it in, I don't think. Barry Larkin. That's the card that was in that unopened pack. Or one of them. Tony Gwynn, Hall of Famer, great. So even the images are step up for this year, so they definitely stepped it up. Mark Grace again. Gracie. Alright, there we go, the kid. Who doesn't love the kid? Please pause these videos anytime you like if you want to read those. Tom Glavine, Hall of Famer, 16 of 30. Cecil Fielder. Roberto Alomar, Hall of Famer. Mark Whitten, St. Louis. Lenny Dykstra for your Phillies guys. Alright. The big hunk, Frank Thomas. Hall of Famer. Chicago White Sox. Alright, Bay Area guys. Will the Thrill Clark. 22 of 30. Andres Galarraga. Big Cat. 23 of 30. These are just beautiful cards. I mean, these are beautiful 90s cards. John Olerud. Alright, Hall of Famer Cal Ripken Jr. It's about right around his big celebrations and all that. Tim Salmon. California Angels. Maybe there's one person from each team in here. It's what it's looking like. Maybe that's why they did 30 cards. So there we go. We just figured something out together if you didn't already know. Albert Bill, guy who killed the ball. Seen him play when I went and seen the White Sox game to see their new stadium when I last visited Chicago in the 90s. Greg Jeffries. No, to St. Louis, so maybe not. I don't know, people. Jeff Bagwell, so there you go. Hall of Famer Jeff Bagwell. And Orlando Merced. Card 30 of 30. So there you go, folks. That is it. That is my Post Cereal boxes. Now, I know they have more cards, so I don't have one of each one. I'm going to have to pick more stuff up as we go. But there you go, from 1961 to at least 1994. Not every year, but Post has been doing cards for a long time. And so that's some cool stuff. 40 minutes is enough, people, so hope you like this stuff, and thanks for your patience. I wanted to get all the MSAs in together. Alright, thanks. Bye.